Welcome back to Staten Island Airfield. We're out here once again to make another video, and today we're sticking with our theme of beginner FPV drones, and we're going to talk about what I think might be the better alternative to one of those ready-to-fly whoop kits. Not to spoil last week's video too much, but I don't think it's a great idea for new pilots to jump in with just a whoop, because a lot of people tend to fly those indoors because wind really will push those around quite a bit. And when you're flying indoors, unless you're flying in like a gymnasium or a very large like warehouse style building, you run out of space real quick. So it can get frustrating and really cause you to have a bad experience getting into this hobby. And with the challenges getting into this sport, I think it probably is a better idea to look towards something like a 3.5 inch drone and getting an actual setup for flying outside. And today I want to build on my other videos, both the "Is Whoops a Good Thing" videos or the getting into flying digital FPV with the DJI system. Today I want to give you a possible alternative to one of those whoop kits. Being conscious of price, for not too much more, I think you could get a decent drone, decent pair of goggles, and a decent controller, all for around $300 to $350. How, you may ask, considering the crazy prices of electronics currently, and that is going with analog. And so similar to one of those whoops, we're gonna be using an analog set of goggles, the EV 800Ds or equivalent. For a radio, the Radio Master Zorro, and for the drone, the Baby Hawk, the Darwin FPV Baby Ape. The Baby Ape is a fantastic value inside of FPV drones, and they just launched a V2. That is the V1. The V2 is either sold as a plug-and-play drone or with a couple of different receiver options pre-soldered on websites like Banggood. Technically, you can get it on Amazon from a third-party reseller as a plug-and-play drone, so you obviously have to add your own receiver. But it is a phenomenally built drone, and the V2 changes to metal standoffs, drastically increasing durability, and also changes up a few other little design elements on that quad, which makes it a very, very good value, especially when you hear that entire drone, all said and done, is less than $100, which is crazy considering you really can't get a flight controller and an ESC for under $100. With that basic hardware kit for about $300 to $350, I want to walk you through, if you do buy this kit, what do you need to do to get that Baby Ape ready to go and bound to your controller and ready to fly. So with that said, let's go to the bench. So here's the Darwin FPV box. Really no like essential branding on the outside. Crack it open. Oh, this is stuff here at the top. So we've got foam and some stickers. Yes, I'm making a Nick Burns joke. Got a little baggie here, spare parts, battery loops, zip ties, some screws. Got one set of props in purple, one set of props in black, one set of props in fluorescent green. We have two spare motors, and then we have the drone itself. Looks pretty good. Has 2.5 millimeter arms. Most of the rest is made with 1 millimeter thick carbon. The VTX is here up top. All-in-one flight controller down below. Got the antenna, XT30. I am curious if these are LEDs. I've been told that these are 1103 motors. And then here we have, can I see what this is? Wonderful. So this is the plug and play version, PNP. So over here we've got the wiring diagram. We're gonna hook up a ELRS receiver to this guy, get it up in the air. So let's get into that right now. Okay, so we've got our little Baby Ape right here, and we're going to do a quick little surgery to open this up so I can install a receiver. So I'm going to pop this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw off. And then do be careful when you're opening this up, because you'll see on this side that the VTX that's on the top is connected with a little cable down to the flight controller. So you do want to be careful when you pop this guy off. There we go. Exposes up the flight controller, and we're going to solder onto this TX and RX pad right here, which you may not be able to see, and then attach that to our ELRS receiver, and we should be good to go. Now that we're on the bench, I'm going to take my soldering iron, and I'm going to tin the pads for RX, TX, 5-volt, and ground. On the receiver, I've already soldered up the RX, TX, 5-volt, and ground. And so now, after tinning all the wires, all the pads, I'm basically going to solder them on with RX on the receiver to TX on the flight controller, TX on the receiver to RX on the flight controller, then positive to positive, 5-volt, and then negative to negative, so ground to ground. And we should be all set and ready to take this out for a little rip. Before we go out and fly, I'm just going to plug into Betaflight and set up my settings. So, see my receiver powered on. Alright, so now that we're plugged into Betaflight and that receiver is already bound to my Radio Master Zorro, we're going to go in here to ports, and so it's already set to serial RX, so I should already be good there. So we're going to go over here to receiver, switch this to already selected UART, and instead of S-Bus, we're going to switch it to Crossfire, because that's what Express LRS needs to be. We're going to go all the way down here, hit save and reboot, and when we power back up, look at that. Yaw, pitch, roll. We all good there. Just check my switches. All my switches look like they're spot on. So some of the other basic things I like to do with any new quad, I like to go in here, double check that my ports are set up, go into configuration, got accelerometer, PID loop seem to be okay. So I like to go down here and switch the arm angle to 180, which effectively disables the disarm lock. So like if I flip upside down and am stuck, I can basically flip that on and turtle mode over, which again, if you can avoid using turtle mode, do it, but it is a great feature to have when you need it if you're stuck on a roof. I also like to set RX lost and RX set to beep, because it's really, really helpful to find your quad. Gonna hit save and reboot. And we should be good to go. So let's go out to the flying field and we'll catch you there. Now that our quad's set up, bound to our radio and ready to go, let's get it up in the air, see how she flies, see what the video looks like. For that, I'm gonna take a GoPro and basically put it inside a dark box with a set of goggles to give you the best rough idea of what it looks like when it's flying. It's not gonna be perfect, because again, I'm using a camera to record a screen, which, but it'll at least give you some idea. I'm gonna fly with my Fat Sharks on, so that way you can see what the EV800Ds look like flying with the Baby Ape. So let's get into it. So now they got this all set up, let's fly. Got it in freestyle acro mode. It's a little bobble there, and again, don't take the camera performance here as gospel, because it is very, very dark. It's doing okay. We'll fly through there. So the stock rates, I left everything stock, so the stock rates aren't bad. They're a little slow. I'm gonna take a look at it when I get back. Yeah, this flies really good. Let me just flip it into angle mode just to make sure it works. Yep. Oh, you have to push way forward. I'm so not used to angle mode anymore now that I basically fly acro most of the time. But yeah, flies good. Flip it back into acro mode. Gonna cruise out here. Do a little Death Star trench run. Get a little breakup on my goggles. I'm not sure if the EVD 800s are doing any better or any worse. I will include both my goggle DVR. Actually, yeah, you can already see. You'll see I have my goggle DVR and the video from the EV 800D with the GoPro staring at it. Little flippy flops. Do a little split S in here. Power's good. Not my first choice for rates, but whew. A little bump into that bush there. Didn't see it coming. Ninja bush. So there's a little warble on the way up. Other than that, this feels really freaking good. And the fact that this quad is 96 bucks, obviously before shipping and tax and the rest of that stuff, but that is a smoking deal. A little power loop in there. Yeah. Come in and land real quick. Yeah, so Baby Ape from Darwin FPV, those EV 800D goggles, and then the Radiomaster Zorro. If you don't like the gamepad style, you've got the iFlight Commando, and you also have the Radiomaster TX12. Any of those radios will provide a great starting point, because again, you can plug it into the sim, and then you install a little ESLRS receiver in that Baby Ape quad, or you can buy it pre-set up with the ELRS receiver in it. But all said and done, you're talking about $100 and change-ish for the radio, about $100 for the quad, and about $80 to $100 for those goggles. So all said and done, you're about $300 to $350 in, and you have a phenomenal little setup to fly FPV. There's not much more I can say about it, aside from if you do want something that is a bit more build yourself, you want to do a little bit more of that DIY part of it, I would recommend. It is a pretty big upgrade, and also it's a fun to race quad. I would recommend looking at the 533 Tiny Trainer. It is a fantastic little quad. It is durable as anything. You can bash it, beat it up. All of them use those same little 3S batteries with the XT, all of them use the same little XT30 equipped 3S batteries. Yeah, there's not much more I can say. If you're looking for the cheapest way into FPV and you don't want to go with that ready to fly Whoop kit, because you want something a bit more fun, a bit more aggressive, something you can fly outdoors in a park, something like that, get a Baby Ape from Darwin FPV, a set of those EV 800D goggles from Eachine, Radiomaster Zorro. You'll be set up and good to go. With all that said, thank you for joining me. Hopefully you get into FPV. If you have any more questions about that kit, about the Tiny Trainer, anything like that, hit me up in the comments. As always, subscribe to this video, helps me grow, helps me build this channel. Like the video, it helps, it all helps. Feed that algorithm. And that is all. There are links down below to everything that I've mentioned in this video. The ones to Amazon are affiliate links, so if you use those links, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me out, helps grow the channel, helps me do more things, buy more things, all that fun stuff. You guys see everything that I purchase basically anyway, so with that said, thank you all for joining me. Catch you in the next video. Bye.